Mega Man Battle Network makes a return. Warframe gets ready to celebrate its 10-year anniversary, and Diablo 4 Early Access has mixed reviews. So for those of you guys that don't know, I will start off by saying that Mega Man Battle Network is coming back in a form of a legacy collection. For those of you guys that don't know, also Capcom made Mega Man Battle Network. It was basically this Mega Man version that was on the Game Boy Advance where you could MegaMan.exe, you'll go into systems, you'll have the cards, that chips rather, that you actually just inputted in Mega Man to power him up. So you could defeat viruses and whatnot. It was a fun little game. It was actually a pretty good part of my childhood in some cases. So I'm actually excited to see it come back. The Legacy Collection is going to include all 6 of the games, which, for those of you guys, again, that don't know, there were 6 titles. I don't think there was a 7th title. No, there wasn't a 7th title officially, but I know a lot of fans wanted the 7th title, and a lot of fans are secretly hoping that if this Legacy Collection sells well enough, that Capcom will think about making a 7th, which, who knows, that could be the case, that could not be the case. We just have to wait and see with that. And while it doesn't come out until April 14th, you can actually pre-order it right now, which I think is interesting. I say interesting mostly because of the fact that since it's a legacy collection, one could argue that there's not too much benefit in pre-ordering it, like there would be an extra bonus, like Diablo 4, for example. They have their early access stuff. Overwatch 2 had an early access thing, so there's not per se much value in pre-ordering it, but I do like the fact that it's an option. You can pre-order it if you're one of the type of gamers that like pre-ordering something, then just like your money's already spent on it, so you don't have to worry about coming up with the money at the last moment because you've already spent it, you locked it in, you can sort of spend it, then forget it. Then when it comes out, be like, oh yeah, I did get that game. And then there you have it. But speaking of Diablo 4, Diablo 4 actually had its early access for the people that pre-ordered Diablo 4 recently with mixed reviews. Most of the reviews from what I've read and seen were mostly positive things like, good gameplay or decent gameplay, or even, oh, there was this bug with the world boss, but it got straightened out within 5-10 minutes. People praising Blizzard for things like that. Then on the flip side of things, there were some comments about the whole skill system being a little too easy or rather basic, which in my opinion, I don't mind a basic skill system. Now, with that said, however, Diablo is one of those games that I hold near and dear to my heart because Diablo 1 is basically where my RPG journey began altogether. I was a warrior on Diablo 1, and I would read every skill book I could. So I was a warrior, but I had like every skill in the game because every time I'd pick up all the tomes and all that stuff, I had firewall, firebolt, lightning. I didn't care. I had it all. Because back in the days of Diablo 1, there wasn't a certain path to follow or anything for skills. No runes or anything like that. You just literally read a tome that you either found on the ground or in a chest or bought from a shop sometimes. You would read that and then you'd gain level 1 of that skill. Every time you read more tomes of the same skill, you would increase your level, which would increase your damage, and with that said and forth. Now, looking back, I see that made it so there was like almost no difference between a warrior, a mage, and a rogue. Because like I said, I picked warrior, but I played mostly as if I was a mage. So that's one of those things. But I'm getting off topic here. My point is that a basic isn't really that bad in a game like Diablo, I feel like. Because I don't want to spend 10 billion years looking at all my skill trees and forth and everything. And if I want to change something up, I have to respec everything. For Diablo, there are some games where I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that option, I suppose. Like, maybe they could have added an extra option. I don't even know how they would do that. You could turn on an advanced mode versus a non-advanced mode, but I feel like that would be too much work for them to add. So, yeah, if it's a little basic, I think that's fine overall. I honestly just think that is fine. Moving on, though, another complaint was that online servers. The servers were acting up and whatnot. Apparently, and that is, well, on par to the course for, I mean, it did that in Overwatch. I'm naming other Blizzard games in case you're wondering. It does that sometimes. Now, with that said, however, that's one of the things that fans do not expect to get better when the open access releases soon, which is again one of the things. Chances are there will be a queue eventually, and servers will have issue even more because that's just what tends to happen. But overall, it seems to me like there were more positive things than negative things. I could definitely be wrong about that, but that's what it seems like to me. Now, we should probably talk about Warframe. Warframe is a game I play quite regularly, and I try to bring it up quite a bit because I enjoy it. And every time I think of video games, I think of Warframe. Actually, whenever someone asks me, what video games do you play? One of the first three games I ever mention is Warframe. Warframe. I actually started playing Warframe. It's been quite a bit of years. I wasn't there at the very beginning, but I have been playing a long time. Now, Warframe is actually this week celebrating their 10-year anniversary. Yeah, 10 years of Warframe. Now, this is actually a bigger deal than one might initially think. I know what you might be thinking. Oh, 10 years. Okay, fine. Whatever. That's cool, I guess. But keep in mind that at 10 years for a video game, that still has a very good community, very good audience. It's not like it has only like 100 people playing it or whatever. It had a bunch of people still playing it. It still gets in the news from time to time. Gaming news, I mean, not the, yeah. Anyway, it's just, it has the player base, it has the fan base, it has the community. Are there some, have there been some dips throughout the years? Yes, there has been some dips. Some people will leave, some people will come to Warframe. It's a whole different thing. But for that to happen in a game that's 10 years old is not really a super all the time common thing. It's a lot more common than you'd think for there not to be an audience for a game, and then the servers have to shut down and the game has to end because they just don't make enough to support keeping the game going, things like that. Those type of things do actually happen quite a bit. So I think I give it to Warframe for 10 years so far. And Warframe still seems to be going strong overall. With that said, Digital Extremes is working on the Divide Paradox, which is going to be, in my opinion, a reboot of Warframe as we know it. Well, kind of. I will actually go over all of what I think it is in the future because I have a lot of opinions on what I think the Divide Paradox is going to be. It's going to be Warframe's next big expansion. It's going to be an open world, and it's going to bring a lot of people into Warframe and probably cause a few to leave as well, as is with a change in almost any game whatsoever. Now, what all that entails, we'll have to find out in the future. But yeah, I honestly do think that the changes overall should be good. I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna see what's up, see what other changes are about. I'm glad they are keeping the core game in there though, just in case. That should give you an idea of how different I believe the Divide Paradox will be from the rest of the game. And yeah, I just think, well, I think that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I will catch you guys in the future. Later.